Mr. President, for me, my opposition to this bill has nothing to do with my support of TNCs. I actually use TNCs and I like them. And my city passed an ordinance recently supporting them. My opposition comes down to page 11 and the comments that say, except, if I may read, except as specifically provided by statute, a municipality may not enact or enforce an ordinance regulating transportation network companies or transportation network company drivers. We're going to help them out with this bill. We're going to help them out by inviting them into Alaska, and all I want to do is just ask them to help us out a little bit. And under this bill, as it's written, you won't have to have an Alaska driver's license. You won't have to have a car registered in Alaska. You're consigning your disputes to California law, and by the way, you're also consigning as a passenger your disputes, because you sign that and plug into the app. There's no bottom age limit for drivers. Your employees are working for an out-of-state company. They're not even working for a local company. There's no local tax revenue for TNC similar to that generated by a taxi company, and made those comparisons here on the floor. We do apply some taxi standards in the debate, but sometimes we did, sometimes we didn't. Sometimes we were describing these companies as taxi-like, other times we weren't. But the biggest issue here is we don't even administer this law. There's no way to regulate or manage this law. The sponsor has indicated that we're in a recession. Yes, we're in a recession. So why would we take away potential income from local communities? The Anchorage ordinance that just passed 2 nights ago, will now have a weaker insurance, will lose its insurance section. Its section was stronger than this section this bill provides. The Anchorage law provided for a $15,000 fee for companies. They will lose that revenue. So this is not a revenue enhancer in that regard, it's a revenue loser for the city of Anchorage. When it comes to privacy, Anchorage had a strict privacy law. That's voided by this bill, if this bill becomes law. We'll no longer have the privacy protections we described earlier. 2 years record keeping was what Anchorage required, not 3, as the senator from East Anchorage suggested, but still at least more than 1 year of record keeping. An Alaska driver's license would have been required under the Anchorage ordinance. That's not going to be required anymore. An Alaska registered vehicle was required under that ordinance. That's not going to be required anymore. You have essentially taken 3 years worth of work that Anchorage's Assembly has put into their work, reviewing their taxi cab statutes, finding out what they did right and what they did wrong, and trying to determine the best possible way to develop a law that responds to local needs and provides for local protections. This bill, when passing, will, make no mistake about it, weakens the ordinance that Anchorage has passed. So know that when you vote. If you vote yes on this bill, you are voting against the interests of the Anchorage Assembly and what they have chosen to do. I think that our local communities have the ability to determine what is right and best for their citizens. And I think they will always go that extra step to ensure our citizens are safe, that our privacy is protected, and that we have law that matters. And with that, Mr. President, I would urge members to take a moment and think about the ramifications of what you're saying to local government here, and please vote no on this bill. Thank you, Mr. President.